So this Flexi Class 3, perhaps you got it wrapped, the rope was tangled inside and it didn't work anymore. Um, my advice, if you can find another one exactly like this, buy it right away. Don't try to fix it like I did. It's very difficult and tricky. It's not an easy fix otherwise. So you can find one, buy it new, and end of the story. What I did like about this one is the rope. The rope is very strong, it doesn't break. And I went to purchase one already, and this one has this tiny rope, which I had in the past, and it's very fragile, doesn't last. This one, it lasts for a long time until that tongue. Now, if you really want to try to fix it, get a thick leather glove so you don't puncture your hand. And we need to split this casing open. You notice it has kind of, it's like a screw pins, which keeps the casing very tightly close together. There's no screw to undo, no glue, no nothing else, but it's so stuck together you may even really hurt yourself. So the way you want to attack this, again, I gave you all the warnings so you know what's coming on. You see, when you see this reading here on the side, if you look on the side, there is like small slots. And I would say the slot is right by this text here. I'm trying this to film, it's an awkward position. So you may want to reach for this slot. I did use a knife actually, but you can puncture your hand, so really close, careful. That's why you need a good glove. If you manage to find this slot with your screwdriver, very good, but it's extremely difficult to split open. Once you open it here, you try to go all around, try to go to the handle. I don't want to repeat myself many times. It's definitely not an easy opening. Then you will find inside it's not going to split open all the way because you have the well inside, and the well has a spring in the center. Just put these things back like that. What happens is the well sits on this kind of shaft which has a kind of cut through it, and you have a spring inside, and this thing has a large hole and a small hole. The large hole goes here, so the large hole goes there, but there is a spring, so when you try to remove the well, it will stay in place because of that spring. So you need to look underneath. You will notice the spring underneath. Now it's detached from mine, and try to slide it upwards to undo it from the shaft. At some point it will just, it's better not to pull on it, try to slide it because you are going to stretch the spring. Now when you got the well out, it looks like this side with it looks like that, a small hole will go there. On the other side you have actually a cover, and this cover has a tiny slot here. You will see it. Use a tiny screwdriver, it's not too hard to undo, and you find the spring inside. So you'll need, this is the spring actually that will sit on that shaft, so you need to push it to enter it here to detach it from the shaft, and then you need to put it back in place. And here's the trick. First I did detach the kind of piece that keeps the rope. I did just slide it off from there, and then you need to get your well and you need to wire the rope around it completely all the way, and it goes like this. This is the small hole, this is the larger hole on the other side. You need to wrap the wire this way, so you just go like that counterclockwise. I should keep this well like this all the way. When you're finished, we are going to attach the spring, but first we need to slide onto the shaft the piece. It's tricky, I told you, and try to position the slot on one side that you can see it. So you position it like that, all right, the dirty side downwards, and then we are going to attach the spring, and it's quite a bit tricky because you just go like that, and when you attach the spring, hopefully I can film this with the camera, there is actually two ways to attach it. on one side of the slot or on the other side. So I will attach it. Maybe you'll see from the light is not the best here. I will attach it this way, so you notice I will keep it into this direction and I will slide it just past that L. I will slide that cut into the shaft. Let's see, give me a second. It's important to attach it onto the right, onto the correct direction. Just basically attach it. Right now I did attach it, and just imagine like this. You have to pull the wire, the rope. You have to pull it, and when you pull it, just do a test. This thing must come back. Notice this is how it works. When you pull the rope, the dog goes away. This thing wants to get it back. Let's try it again. Make a test like this. Like I said, it's important to attach that the spring in such way so it wraps without making a bend on it. So well, yeah, this is another thing. You need to keep it in place, otherwise it's gonna spring everywhere in your room. So you need to attach it in such way to make a spiral when it's wrapping, so it doesn't make a bend. That's important. Make a test. I cannot really film this properly, so that's perhaps, whoop, hold on. I tell you, I'm trying to do this live and film it at the same time, not exactly the easiest thing. So that's how you must make sure it's wrapping in there, like a spiral, okay? Let me try to put it into there. Not exactly the easiest thing, okay. All right, now, assume the well it's in place. Notice the cord is all the way wrapped around the well. Make sure you wrap it properly so it doesn't get tangled again. And then you are going to try to attach the small cover. So get that kind of small hole on one side, and you are noticing the well also have a corresponding bump, and you are trying to match the two, align them. It's I cannot film this, but try to align them just like they were when you remove the cover, the small cover, and try to press it on it. It will make like a click. If it's locked, you won't be able to pull the well again. If it's not locked, try to rotate the well and align it with that tiny notch on the small cover. It's difficult to see and it's impossible to film. Once it's like this, you are almost done. You need just to put the cover back in place. I'll give you a tip for this this button here, the spring on it. Let me just try to remove to show you how the spring sits in there. Whoops. So if you look inside the button, you'll notice there is like a kind of two tabs, and in between the two tabs there is like a depression. It's just a not hole, but it's more recessed. So that's where the spring goes. It has to sit in there. You need to get it into that kind of, and when you look from the side, it sits right like this on this position. So basically this red bump gets in front of the spring. So get a screwdriver, compress a little bit the spring to the right, pass the bump in front of the spring and behind the black plastic piece, and slide this piece in place. And then the last step, obviously, you need to figure out how to close everything back in place. Like I said, you have this metal kind of studs, but it's like a screw. It's not screwed in, it's just to keep it more tight together. And you need to match all the hole around here, press it down, and hopefully it's going to work for the next time. Don't forget to place the wire correctly and place this plastic piece that keeps the wire, and untangle the wire correctly.